I want to talk about how you can step out and live the life you always meant to with my good friend Justin Brownlee in this episode of The Ambitious Life.
I'm a man on a mission.
My mission in life is how can I put amazing things out into the world so that I can pay it forward to the next generation. I'm just here to help you so that you can do and fulfill whatever mission that you have in your life.
Hey, what's up guys, Greg here, hanging out with my good friend Justin Brownlee. We just had some lunch. We've survived an entire T-ball season together.
It was a exhaustive season, right? February to May?
To May. Like
twice a week?
Like 4 and 5 year olds playing, what, 20 games?
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's kind of insane.
Yeah.
And the crazier thing is you coached, you got 2 kids, and you are now starting to build a church.
Build
Anchor
a church. Yes.
That'll kind of debut or launch here in October. And we had an awesome conversation at lunch that I wanted to kind of talk about, because I think so many people feel like, you know, they want to do things. They have hopes, they have dreams, they have ambitions to, you know, live a better life, to start that business, to have that family, whatever it is. And they can get overwhelmed because they feel like they're just one person. But then they forget how much power one person can really have. And you were telling me this cool story about being in the Philippines and, you know, traveling over there and seeing like, man, this world it's a big place, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, we took, what, 2 8-hour flights, 16 hours to get to the other side of the world, and it is exactly 12 hours behind, or 12 hours ahead over there.
Yeah.
So it's a whole other world, but yet there's still the same people, same problems, same things. We were talking about the same idea, but yeah, it is a different perspective that you start to get, that we're all on this planet together, and it's not so big, and it's also not so small.
Yeah, and that's the fun concept, because sometimes we think that we're so insignificant and we're small, but then you see the power that one person can have to change the world, be it a president, be it a religious leader, be it a celebrity figure, be it an actor. I mean, talk about the power that we actually have as human beings.
Yeah, I believe in the power of one. I think every single one of us has an opportunity to make a difference in this world, and we've seen plenty of people throughout the course of the history of the world making a difference. So yeah, it's one person standing up for something that they believe in, one person standing up and saying, yeah, I can do that, and that's all it takes is somebody to add their voice to the conversation and even be the leader in that conversation.
Yeah, and for you have your own kind of your dream, your mission now in starting Anchor Church. I mean, how important is it to have kind of that mission, that vision behind you to make this a reality? Whether you're starting a business, starting a church, starting a movement, whatever it is, I mean, there's obviously a lot of challenges, roadblocks, things in that way. But do you think that having that bigger vision, that bigger mission helps you get through those?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I mean, the Bible tells us that without vision, the people will perish, right? So if you're trying to lead the charge on something and you don't have vision, then nobody's going to be on board. Nobody's going to be on that racetrack with you. So yeah, it's important. It's a huge part of it.
So why you? Why do you think that you're someone that should be doing this? When so many people are like, yeah, it'd be cool to start a business. Yeah, it'd be cool to start, you know, whatever that it is. Why do you think you are the right person to do what you're doing?
I think it's a calling first and foremost, so I definitely feel called to that, but I'm a firm believer that we have one of 2 things. We have talents and we have things that we love to do, right? And if we can incorporate those 2 things, talents and things that we love to do, then and maybe even called to do it, then that's a great place to be. But yeah, I always tell young people, because I've worked with young people for a long time, explore what you're actually good at and do that, and explore what you love to do. And if you can somehow make those both the same thing, then that's a great thing. But yeah, I think that is a big part of getting to that one point and actually pushing ahead of people is exploring those 2 things.
Do you think that most people don't feel that that's realistic for them? That, you know, I mean, do what you love, right? We hear it, like there's a lot of, like we joke around about like Gary Vee and all these things, like you gotta do what you love, but you wake up and you're like, I'm not doing what I love. Do you feel that people actually can rise up and do the things that they're passionate about?
I think so. You just have to grab a hold of it. I mean, those are all cliche things that people say, but when you actually step out, that's the biggest thing. It's the hardest thing. There's another story in the Bible of Jesus walking on the water. Everybody knows that story, right? Or a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And there's one guy who actually got out of the water, out of the boat and into the water too, and stood on the waves with Jesus, right? But there was a whole other boat full of people that didn't actually step out. So what I believe is that we just have to step out. You know, you could be scared, you could be in the boat cowering and being terrified, but it always takes just one person to to step out. And that story goes on to tell us that he began to sink. This is Peter. He began to sink because he was terrified, but he was the one that actually got out of the boat, right? He's the one that actually stepped forward and led that charge. And so that's all it takes, is just being able to say, you know what, forget the fear, forget all these other things. I'm gonna take this step. I don't know what it looks like, but I'm willing to take that step. And that's where a lot of people just need to be, is be willing to take that step.
And I love that. And I think it's just take that first step, because you know, it's the whole thing, like you can't run the marathon without running the first mile. And I think that's true with everything you want to do in life. You want to make a career change, you want to make a life change, you want to find a new romantic partner, you want to be a better dad. You be a better dad one day at a time. You know, you can't, we can't look at our lives 20 years from now. We got to, like, how can I be a better dad today? And so take that one step, do those things, and you will live an ambitious life. Hey, if you like that episode of The Ambitious Life, I'd love to hook you up with a copy of Thought Leader Magazine, where I'm going to share with you how to use media to grow your business empire. All you got to do is head to ambitious.com/magazine, and I'll hook you up right away.